Thanks, guys. Good evening, ladies and gentlemen. It's Friday night, we're in London, and this is the last quarter-final of the 2009 Wembley Masters. The atmosphere here is absolutely electric. Ladies and gentlemen, it's time to get the boys on the bass! Please welcome a player enjoying the best 2 years of his career so far. A magnificent runner-up in last year's World Championship. He's already reached 3 ranking event semi-finals this season. Some call him captain, but his mates prefer El Capitano, Ali Carter! And his opponent, a true genius of the modern game, bidding for a 4th Masters title here at Wembley, the reigning world champion and world #1, blink and you'll miss him. Here comes the Rocket, Ronnie O'Sullivan!
And in the commentary box for this Masters quarter-final, good evening, Willie Thorne and John Virgo.
Good evening, Ray. Well, you can feel the atmosphere, you can cut it with a knife. Excitement, but I suppose in a way, Willie, from Ali Carter's point of view, intimidating.
Intimidating, yeah, especially as he's playing the best snooker in his life, and until he beats Ronnie, he's always going to have that at the back of his mind, you know, am I ever going to beat him? I think tonight's as good a chance as he'll ever have.
The first frame, Ali Carter to break.
Not the best of break-off shots. He's left a red potable to the right corner.
Yeah, it's made slightly more difficult that the black's not available, so whether he'll take it on or not, I suppose he'll have to take it on, but can he get round the back of the black or play the run-through? If he plays the run-through, there is a gap in between pink and red to go back into baulk.
He held the cue ball. I think he's run too far for the black. There you see it. May have the pink as a second prize.
Yes, it's not the easiest, but a little stun run through. The one above the black will pot. There you see him queuing down. Oh, he's played that nicely. That's a great shot. I mean, obviously we know he's had a new cue, John, but it just amazes me how he can just play with a new cue, and as he does so many times, John, sometimes a new tip.
Yeah, well, funny enough, it was about a year ago now, we were talking about cues, Ronnie and I, and he was saying he doesn't see any reason now why he just can't get an exact replica of the cue you've been using. John Paris has all his measurements. But as I say, the ready knocked in and that good pink. Doesn't look like the cue's a problem.
Played the deep skew into the side of the bunch here. I just played a little nudge into the bunch, but he could have got on 2 or 3 reds, whatever way he played them. Just freed another couple though.
15. $16.
There's only one place that's probably better in the commentary box, John, that's probably refereeing. I'd like to referee Ronnie in an atmosphere like this.
23.
Yeah, but you'd lose count, Willie, wouldn't you?
If they're on blacks I could count, but if they started playing boring snooker on baulk colours and things, I might lose count. But Michaela Tabb, one of our best referees, she's right on top of the action
24.
here and watching exactly what's happening.
Nice angle on the black, a few loose reds to play for.
51. $32. $39. 40.
In potting that red, just released another one. Got lovely control of the cue ball at the moment. Playing for a red into the right corner. He just stopped in his tracks, so he thought he wasn't going to run far enough. I don't know if he's run far enough to be straight enough on this red to play for the black. May have to go up for the blue now. So he's just a fraction out of perfect position.
48.
I remember the afternoon session, we had 5 centuries on the trot. I suppose as this is the first frame of the evening, it could be the 6th.
A frightening standard. There you see, Hawkeye showing you. He's well straight, you just have to roll it in, but he has a choice of reds. One to the left corner, one to the right corner.
$53.
Back up for the blue. And once again, a little straighter than required. He can't get as close as he would like to this red, but there you go. Straight again. The reason I thought it was important there, I think there was a chance he may have been thinking about playing a cannon. He needs a couple
59.
more reds. You can see the loose one here, but where does the second one come from?
Yeah, he's going to use the bunch edge, and isn't he, to bring another one out. Well, I thought he would. I thought he'd play a forcing still into them, but he's made sure he got topside this time. And he has got perfect. Not necessarily into the pink, he can go into the 2 reds at the side if he wants. Whatever the equation, he knows that he only needs a couple of reds and colours. And because they're like this, he won't play at the pace you normally see them go into the bunch. He just played a controlled little still into them. And that's just about the worst place it could have finished.
Yes, no matter how good you are, when you go into the reds playing little cannons like that, you always need a little bit of luck. If you get perfect position on reds and they're in the open, you don't have to depend on any good fortune or bad fortune, but it's gone wrong. Does this red go to the left middle? That's what he's played. And in it goes. And that puts him 66 points in front, but there's still 67 left on the table.
Looks like black safe, good white. Well, I'm surprised he's left the black in open play. I thought he'd have made sure of getting the black safe. Wasn't sure he was guaranteed to get the snooker. We are now, though. Very good.
Well, it just shows you this game of snooker. Ali Carter broke off, and when he next comes back to the table, he's 66 points behind and snookered behind the yellow. Tough school. I don't think the reds are that hard to hit, but of course he can't afford to leave a pot on for Ronnie. Ronnie only needs one more red, playing the 2 cushion escape. Didn't play it too bad, but just caught the blue, and he's left that red for Ronnie, the frame winner. Well, what a start this is from Ronnie. And the most important thing, Willie, it seems that all the reds are going slap bang in the middle of the pocket.
Yes, you're always apprehensive when you see Ronnie play. You never know quite what you're going to get. Ali Carter's conceded in the end, so Ronnie O'Sullivan started with the break of 66. It proved to be enough to take the opening frame. Well, John, you know, I've got to come back to you with the cue. In our day, I don't think there was a manufacturer around that could make a cue the same. When you consider his first match, 2 hours practice with a cue to beat Joe Perry?
It is quite remarkable. And we remember at the World Championship one year when he kept taking the tip off. I mean, I used to like to have a tip knocked in for 3 weeks before I got to a tournament. But Ronnie's such a natural player. I think it may be a little bit easier. I mean, years ago when the table was a little bit slower, we used to play with probably a little bit more side to generate that extra bit of pace in the cue ball. So today it's mainly a plain ball game, but no, as you say, to only have a cue an hour and perform as he did in his last match and that starts, it's just unbelievable.
I suppose the only way Ali Carter has got to go into this match, okay, he's got
Thank
the worst
you. The
record you could
second
ever
frame,
dream of, but
Ronnie O'Sullivan to
he's
break.
got to somehow play the table and not the man this evening.
Yeah, the only thing is, well, it'd be nice to have a chance, wouldn't it? He broke off, next time he was snookered, and that was all that's the only twice he got his hand on the table.
Just to rub it in a little bit, Ronnie's broke off and snookered him again. Will he ever see a ball to pot in this match? I'm sure it'll happen.
I think he may have to be playing this with a little bit of side here.
The brown's a good ball here for Ronnie O'Sullivan, and the fact that he can play this, maybe it could go 3 cushions, could play it 2, but that's his target, in behind the brown. Just a fraction thin. He won't be happy with that one. Ali Carter has the same chance.
Yeah, well, funny enough, that was a shot there. He was playing with a trace of side, so maybe the side might just be a little bit of weakness with the new cue. Didn't catch that right. So can Ali put Ronnie in trouble here off this safety? Hand on the table. No, it's a poor one. That was a poor one.
Sneaked the shot to nothing in, and you can see his disappointment with his reaction when he saw the kiss on the blue. The red right into the heart of the pocket, and we'll hopefully get a chance to see his face so you can see the disappointment in it. Easy shots to play the brown and get in behind the blue. Just wants to free the brown to make the blue pot as well. Doesn't really want to leave the blue in the way of the brown. But he has done.
Well, it's a straightforward run back to balk. I don't think he'll be looking to take the pot on. Just these few reds, just past the pink. But he's got to get a good length with his cue ball. He hasn't so far. And that was another poor safety. He's not settled yet. Understandable, he's hardly had a shot to go at. But just early match nerves showing for me. Doesn't look a bad cue ball, this, does it? Doesn't look a bad cue ball.
to tell from here whether he can see it or not. Not enough to pot it.
Well, I think he may be taking this on, so maybe he can just get past the blue. It's a big shot. Well played. That'll make him feel a bit better.
Well, he can't hit a ball better than that, and he's hit absolutely plain ball. The yellow will pass the brown, but whether he's got enough angle to get back up this end of the table or not, I don't know. He'll have to play it firm if he does. The red 2 away from the pink is the one he wants to get on, so off one cushion and just try and come over the blue spot. Cue ball anywhere in open play, and he'll have choice of 2 reds. There you can see the yellow's not easy. Decided to come down for the ones at the side of the black spot, which meant he could hit it a lot harder, and probably felt that to play for the ones near the pink he'd have had to stroke it in. And as he's not settled, perhaps preferred to hit them a bit firmer.
Yeah, maybe he thought by playing in this position he could possibly pot one of these reds and drop on the black. And you can't see him getting a sizable contribution the way the balls are at the moment, pink and black out of play. Will he risk playing for the black?
We know he's on 3 reds, but as we've already mentioned, it's not a good chance to score heavily, and he'll do well to get past the blue spot here with the cue ball. But he has done.
4.
That's about as good as he could have done from there. When they're very close, it's tough to get the cue ball moving. If he's straight on the brown, he'll take the yellow again. Just looking at that camera angle, the blue would pot as well, but the blue, as you can see, is a little bit more difficult, but he would love the blue back in play. A lot more risky than the yellow, but it's one he knows that he can score off. And that's a very good shot.
We saw a little shake of the head there from Ali, so he's not perfect on this red. Okay, it'll pot, but there's quite a bit of work to do with the cue ball to get back up for the blue, as that seems the only colour he can play for at the moment. Deep screw, lots of left hand side. Boy,
10.
did he cue that well. Well, we knew he was cueing well coming into this match. We've not had much chance to see it, but just watch that cue ball once the backspin took over.
Yeah, he's got to play the little cannon on the pink here, the slow cannon. Ronnie played a similar shot in the previous frame and it went wrong, but you've got to bring the pink into play here. You don't hit the pink full, you play the half ball pink and half ball red at the same time, and gently. JB's put a line up for me, but he's played the pink full ball. Now that's never going to free the pink, it's freed it just from one pocket. Slightly mishit that one.
15.
But he's got a chance now to score heavily. Done well from where he was.
$16.
Well, another deep screw, and this time he's hit it too well. Pink's not an option, hampered by the red as he is, so a bit of blue and in out of balk.
This is made a lot easier, the fact that the green's off its spot, so he can play on and over the green spot twice with a lot of check side. If the green was on its spot, this would be a tough positional shot. It's not tough now where the green is. There you see it, virtually over the green spot, and a lot of check side. It's not enough check side though, so he's still not out of the woods yet. Just can't get on the ball properly at the minute.
22.
He played that well, but you see how this cue ball is having to travel. He's coming from the balk end down to this end and then back up there. It's, as you say, Willie, basically what he needs is one good positional shot. And if he can get that, then there is a possibility. I don't think I'll be saying it, but there is a possibility you can win the frame at this visit.
Yes, the four reds at the back of the black spot, they're not a problem with the black on the spot. They're a problem without the black on the spot, and once again he's lost position. Still a pot on, but plenty to do with the cue ball.
Yeah, he just can't get that pinpoint position at the moment.
$27.
This is just about the first time he's been in prime position. Just wonder whether he'll risk trying to drop on the black with those four reds on the back cushion to make those a lot easier at some stage.
$33. $34.
Well, all that hard work and just not getting perfect caught him out in the end. Didn't expect him to miss it, mind. Worked hard for that 34 points, but he's missed when he was in.
1.
Well, let's see how long it is before Ronnie gets the black back on its spot. He'd like to do it after the next red. All those remaining 6 reds are tough to be playing on pink or blue, and they're not tough, or they're a lot easier with the black on its spot. Let's see whether he can hold this for the black. Maybe not. Might be a bit of value, John, in playing the kiss on the red
7.
and black and hopefully mature the black or get on the pink as well. That's an option.
8.
Don't think he played the kiss, just played it badly.
Yeah, he's not good on this pink, is he? And it's not a straightforward roll the pink in and you'll be on the next red. He's got a little bit of work to do with the cue ball here. And whenever you've got to manoeuvre the cue ball, it always makes the pot more difficult.
$14. $15.
Now he has an option of pink or black. As you say, Willie, if the black's on the spot, these 2 reds near the top cushion are a lot more accessible with the black in close vicinity.
Just finished a little bit too straight, so he's going to have to play this red at distance. So this is Ali's chance. This is a red that's missable. Otherwise, Ronnie will get right back into the frame now. This is Ali's key chance of a miss.
22.
Well, once again, tough shot right in the heart of the pocket. Never a question of it not going in.
You can see how much easier it is now the
30.
black's on its spot for him to score. Angle essential on this next black.
31.
Angle got. Choice of shots here. He can play the stun onto the one on the cushion. or just drop on them both. With him being able to play left-handed, dropping on them both is not too bad.
Well, he found the gap. He's now
38.
got a 5-point lead. But it's a tough shot that's left. I'm sure he'll take it on. Just a fraction out.
38.
Little stun run through, just off straight. Always missable. So this frame back in the balance.
Two things can go wrong. If he plays two cushions, he's going to have to avoid the kiss on the blue and playing safe off the one on the cushion. If he plays one cushion, i.e. a bit thicker on the red, he's going to miss the kiss on the brown. So what you must do here is find the top cushion. You can't afford to leave Ronnie with his hand on the table. As he missed the brown. That's not good.
Well, he decided not to play the long pot, and you can see by the expression on his face, he didn't play a good safety. Hand on the table to knock the red towards the corner pocket. He won't be pleased with that, and a chance now for Ali Carter.
And from what we've seen this week, John, I don't think there's many players would have refused that red. Mind you, he needs the yellow to come to his rescue here, and I think it has come to his rescue. He's had a result.
Not settled yet. And Ronnie just bend this cue ball round. I think he'll have to put left hand side if he's going to get to the pot and hang away. He didn't play the pot. He just couldn't hit enough of it. But it's a terrific safety. But there's a gap. There's a gap between blue and pink.
That was the gap, and that was an excellent reply. Excellent reply from Ali Carter. Is Ronnie going to start having a go at these long ones? If he plays to stop the white dead, he's on the pink if it goes in. The only one he can leave on is the one he's playing, but I don't know whether he fancies anything long at the moment. Maybe he's been practicing and not knocking the long ones in. No, it looks like he's aiming thin, so I don't think he's playing the pot. Maybe in the practice room, John, the long straight ones, he's not been getting through them.
Yeah, well, maybe. And he's such a good safety player, of course, that he can put his opponent in trouble to force a mistake. But he was, I suppose, in a way, a little bit fortunate when he played a safety shot a few shots ago and left that pot for Ali Carter, that Ali Carter didn't make the most of it. Just can't get a good length at the moment, Ali. Can't get that cue ball tight under the baulk cushion. Now, is this a long pot that Ronnie will take on?
Oh, you're shocked, John. I'm shocked. It's a strange. He's probably decided tonight he's going to play the tightest possible snooker he can play, and when he gets in the balls, we know he's one of the best ever in the balls. So it doesn't look like he wants to risk anything at the moment. And his safety so far has been fantastic.
Yeah, and I think he also knows, we talked about his record. They played 10 times. Ronnie's won all 10 on all 10 occasions, so he knows psychologically, Ronnie, he's got the edge, so make it as difficult as possible for Ali, particularly early on in the match. Don't give Ali a chance to settle. Not a bad shot, that.
It's tough to get back to baulk as well. It's one of those where you might be forced into having a go at this one. No, it didn't attempt that one either. The line was perfect. 2 inches of weight would have been tight behind the black.
Well, that's a snooker. So you could say now advantage Ali Carter.
Unless it's a free ball, it will be replaced, obviously. And it will
Ali
be.
Carter 4.
It goes without saying, it's going to be tough to get this safe. Ronnie probably erring on trying to get the very thin 2-cushion escape to try and leave plenty of distance between cue ball and object ball, but anything half ball or full ball, he's got to stick Ali on here somewhere. Yes, almost impossible. Unless he caught it thin, it was, with the 2 reds being up that end, it was almost impossible to get away with it. Ronnie's only hope is the green.
One.
Quick glance at the scoreboard. 5 points in front. Was in such a position he had to play for the yellow, and remember, when he plays this yellow it would come back up because he's potting it after a red, so he's got to play for the yellow, coming back on its spot. Now what sort of an angle has he got on this yellow, because as you say, Willie, the only awkward ball appears to be the green.
Those made a little bit easy, John. The fact that the brown's not on its spot, green to brown, could have been tough if it was on its spot.
Let's have a perfect angle just to roll this green in. And now he needs brown and blue to level the match. Well, he didn't get the response. I think Ronnie will be sat there thinking, well, he's going to knock this in, and you expect him to, but there's a little bit more pressure on this. But right in the middle of the pocket, no problem. It turned out to be a little game of cat and mouse. But whenever you get those situations, the one who can get the snooker on the last couple of reds usually finishes up winning it, and that's what happened. Ali Carter got the snooker, Ronnie couldn't escape. It's one apiece.
Ronnie marches out of the arena. Any observations so far, Ken?
Well, I think, you know, as the two commentators rightly said, Ronnie has refused a couple of balls there, a couple of long shots that you would expect him to go for. Now, he is playing with a new cue, and in amongst the balls, when he's in around the pink and black, that won't really have much of an effect. Now, it'll only affect him on the long shots and on the safety shots, and that's where you really get found out. Has he had enough time to really practice with it? It remains to be seen, but you can see from there he's not fully confident with it, particularly on the long shots.
Ali will be feeling a whole lot better now, having got that frame on the board, because it could have been 2 down.
Yeah, he could have been easily 2 down, but you know, as John Virgo always says, you never really settle down until you get your first frame on the board, and I think it was very imperative there that Ali got that frame. It was a good frame, good clearance in the end. He had Ronnie in all sorts of trouble, but you know, he potted the balls to win the frame, and he'll settle them right down.
It's incredible, Ken, isn't it? There is a buzz in the arena when Ronnie plays, because you just never quite know what's going to happen next.
No, you don't. I mean, it's always the great thing. I always love playing Ronnie or Jimmy here, because the atmosphere is always electric, and it's like not playing no other player. And particularly O'Sullivan now, because he's so unpredictable. The crowd love him, and he's a real entertainer, and it's always a brilliant night anytime you play him out there.
1-1, third frame about to get underway.
Thank you. Frame 3, Ali Carter to break.
And third frame is underway now. Ali Carter, I'm sure, will be very relieved he was kept off the table for the first frame and a half. But it's 1-1. This red may pass the black, and he could be playing this as a shot to nothing. It did pass, didn't it? Won't be happy with the cue ball. Whenever your player can get the hand on the table outside of the baulk line, you would expect to be in trouble at your next visit. So Ali Carter should play a decent safety shot from here.
Just caught that red a little bit too thin, but it's run to the side cushion, and the flick on the brown helps slightly. I don't know if he can get through to the... Oh no, well he can't, so he's just playing safe off the main bunch. Nice target that, isn't it? Green and brown. Try and put the cue ball behind. An aggressive safety. And pretty well played. I don't know if I detected just a little shake of the head there from Ali. I don't know whether there's a possibility Ronnie can... Well, he can he? He can get through to this red on the left-hand side of the table as we look, and get through enough to play the pot in the left corner. And when you play an aggressive shot, safety shot like that, Willie, and all the reds open, it's a bit dangerous now.
Yeah, the problem for Ronnie, of course, is round the back of the black is not a problem, but the path of the cue ball is going very close to the pink. Now, he'd be reluctant to take the pot on if he knew he was going to kiss the pink. just in case he missed it. Has he missed the pink? Well, only hit it thin enough to take it back in the baulk. If it hit that pink full ball, you see, that would have been very dangerous.
He's having a look at this. There's two reds. Where one of them he can't get through to because of the pink, but the other one, my God, well, he's playing safe off that red. That was risky for me. Mainly because he had to hit the red he was playing so thick. Didn't see how he could generate the pace in the cue ball to get it back to the baulk end. Now what has he left?
Well, there's only the blue available if he plays the red nearest to the cue ball. And if he decides to play the screw shot, the in-off in the middle is a possibility, so he's going to be a little bit careful as I go at this red. You want to be top side of the blue, of course. Let's just see what kind of reaction he gets on this. If he plays the screw back, will it go near the middle pocket? Near, but knew the in-off was a possibility, so purposely played this side of the blue rather than take the risk. Great pot.
Too much side into that, but he's just about okay. The red he'd love to be on sooner rather than later is the one that's just to the left of the black. That would release the black into both corner pockets. He's got this one to this corner, and I think he can stun up for the blue without running into another red.
Seven.
Well, he could have played that better. As I say, if he could get to that red that's just the left of the black, then he would really open up this frame for a sizable contribution. The black goes, and the red to the left of it is available.
Yeah, nothing pots in the right hand corner though, John, does it? So can he get that angle at some time? He's having to work really hard here. Well, there's your answer. He played to get on it straight away and maybe gone a fraction too far just to roll it in dead weight for the black, but he can still get rid of it and go for the blue if he wants. So he has got that black available now into both pockets, and whenever that happens with O'Sullivan at the table, you fear the worst.
Well, he's on this red. He may have to go back up for the blue again. Straighter on it, he could have just rolled it in for the black in the opposite corner. He's just overrun the cue ball a fraction. These balls are nicely situated now. I'm certain Ronnie will be thinking this is a chance to win the frame at this visit.
Tough to play because he had to play a little tracer check side there just to slow the white down. If he'd played that plain ball, the white would have probably sprung up another 5 or 6 inches. That's why he played it with a lot of right hand side, just to let it dig into the cushion, just to slow the white down.
27.
And now you'd be surprised if he didn't score enough to win the frame.
$34. $35.
Yeah, these reds, he doesn't have to play any cannons because they're in the type of position where you're not one in, it releases a path to the pocket for another one.
42.
He's got lovely control now of the cue ball. Sometimes you do that, you chalk your cue and you get a bit of loose chalk and it's just off-putting, so experienced enough now to get up,
43.
make certain you're comfortable and then get back down on the shot.
Made a break of 66 in lightning time in taking the opening frame.
51.
Looks like he's going to eclipse that score here. So 3 more reds and colours to be sure of a 2-1 lead. Has he slightly underhit that? He wants to be straight on this. He doesn't want to be cannon into a red. Just could miss the red.
$59.
Just a red and a colour needed.
66.
And he has taken these very well. It wasn't a straightforward chance by any means. But as Willie said, as soon as he got that black available into both corner pockets, you just felt there was an air of inevitability that he was going to win the frame.
I suppose, John, if you're playing, you know, one of these top 3 or 4 players in the world, like Ali Carter's sitting there now, he knows that if he can win if he plays no miss snooker. You know, you can't get away with playing badly against someone like O'Sullivan.
No, well, I think in a way that takes a little bit of pressure off you, doesn't it? You know, lesser players, you think, well, you know, if I just don't fall over, I can win. But he knew when he came out this evening that only his best would be good enough.
83.
But at the moment, okay, it's 1 apiece, going 2-1 to Ronnie. Ronnie certainly looks the more settled of the two. But I think because that's the case, Ali's just going to hang on in there.
Yes, there's going to be no century now unless the double goes in. Which it hasn't done, so he had a break of 66 in the opening frame. He's had a break of 90 in the 3rd frame. He leads 2-1.
And the winner of this match will play Stephen Maguire in the semi-finals. The Scot beat Neil Robertson in the quarter-final, played this afternoon, 6-3 the score. The standard of snooker from both players was top class. It was a Masters record of 5 century breaks in a row, but it was the world number 2 who took his chances. He played some exceptional snooker. He has a UK Championship success on his CV. He's taken a step nearer another major title, the Masters.
It's a great performance. I'm chuffed to bits. I knew it was there somewhere. I mean, that's, you know, I know I can play like that. It's just, and at the back of my head, I know I can't play like that all the time. You know, it's just, you try to play like that. That's why you practice every day.
Obviously, really disappointing, but you know, he played fantastically well, and you have to give your opponent credit when they play like that. So, you know, good on him, and you know, he'll take some stopping. You know, it doesn't matter who he plays if he plays like that. It's
only 1 match. There's no point in getting carried away here. It's only we only played 10 frames there. I mean, there's still a few more frames to go in this tournament.
Steve Maguire versus Ali Carter or Ronnie O'Sullivan is tomorrow night. Next frame about to get underway in this quarter-final.
Well, with that red going down the table past the blue, it's a bit risky. But I don't think Ali can get past the brown to play the pot on that red to the left middle. Well, Maybe I'm wrong. Maybe he can see enough of this red to play the pot. Okay, be worried where the cue ball's running to. May even collide into the main bunch of reds below the pink, but he could still be on the black, should he pot it.
Yeah, good shout, John. It's one he should have got, though, to be fair.
Yeah, it wasn't that difficult, was it? I mean, obviously, it's made more difficult because you're not certain where the cue ball's going to finish, aren't you? You're always trying to got one eye as to where the cue ball's going, but I expected him to pot it.
This is very tight. You can't see the middle of the pocket, you can only see the right-hand jaw. There's another look at it. Probably just about see the centre of the pocket. There's just one up from the black that will cut into the corner, and if you can avoid the cannon on the red next to it, he can play for baulk colour. I can't quite tell from here whether he can hit it thin enough to miss the kiss. So it's either the one to the right of the black or the one to the left of the black. Both reds are just about on, but the one to the right of the black is his choice, that one there. But cutting back in, can he miss the kiss on the red just above it? He probably thinks not. That's why he's having another look at this one that we know only pots off the right hand jaw. This is tricky. Not guaranteed, this one. If he was slightly straighter on it, it would be a certainty, but he's gone back to the second choice. He's not playing that one anymore. Well, I can only presume he was feeling like going for a 147 there, because if that kiss wasn't on, I don't know why he didn't get down and knock it in straight away. He obviously felt that he was feeling good, but anyway, he's got the first chance again.
Well, is he going to be unlucky?
4.
If he'd have kissed that red full ball, oh, he's okay. It's inch perfect.
Five.
Yeah, the beauty of O'Sullivan, he can play pots in and out of baulk, John. He generates so much topspin, he doesn't have to hit them hard, does he? And he's the only player I've seen that can move the white with precious little pace.
Timing, isn't it? It's timing.
12.
This is the one. No, he never hit that hard. And look at the cue ball pace he's generated there. Almost went too far, as John said. Without the kiss, he might not have been on anything. But he generated so much cue ball movement with precious little power. That's the art.
13.
Well, he's got this red to the right corner, but looks as though the one to the left middle is the better choice. And up for the blue.
21.
Well, there was a lot of concern at the start of this match, Willie, about whether the second time out this cue could do what Ronnie wanted. It doesn't look as though there's a problem with the cue so far this evening.
Certainly not in the balls, but until I see him pot a few long ones, John, I'm going to sit on the fence a little bit. Like Ken Doherty, I thought there was 2 or 3 long balls he could have gone for, and yourself and I looked at each other in the commentary box on a couple of occasions.
I assume that's exactly where he wanted to be, but I've been looking at his body language. Maybe he wasn't. Well, I thought he'd play for this red to the corner, but it doesn't go. So I'm not quite certain which red he played on then.
Well, having seen that, John, I can only presume he's played wide of that red for one in the corner and missed it that really badly.
So he had to just play a safety, and as per usual, a good one on that cue ball, tight under the baulk cushion. Now Ali's having a look. I don't know whether he can get through to the potting angle. Well, he's looking to play safe off the red just below the pink. Got to get a good white here. Got to get a good white. Well, you were saying a few moments ago, Willie, about Ronnie's long potting. I think he's going to have to take this red on, and the reason I say that, because there's no easy safety.
Yeah, the red at the back of the black is causing him massive problems here. He would definitely have a go at the shots, anything around the back of the black. Can he avoid that red? The first real long pot he's gone for, he's missed it. But the fluke's come to his rescue. Mind you, this black is very tricky. The good thing is he'll be kissing the red to hold the white, so this is going to have to go in. There's the kiss. Is the black in? You betcha. What a shot.
Eight. Ronnie O'Sullivan, 8.
Once again, we mentioned it before, it can happen. When you're not certain where the cue ball's going to finish and you're just having a trust to look for position, you just take your eye off the pot for a fraction. And that's what he's done there. So, Ali Carter, you've had a let-off. Need to make the most of this.
Well, if Ali Carter gets out of this session 2-2, he'll be doing handsprings in the practice room. And he maybe won't get a better chance to get to 2-2 here, even though he's 34 behind his favourite.
Seven. 8.
Well, the fact that he's not down and playing this black means that he's just got the wrong angle, but he has a choice of the pink to the right middle if he's not happy with the black. Doesn't have to do anything with the cue ball.
If the red to the left of the three that are together,
14.
so sorry, to the right pots, which it doesn't, I'm going to say I'd get rid of it, but because that's causing a problem at the minute.
15.
Not the perfect shot, that. You want to be a little bit straighter on this red. When you've got to bounce the ball on and off a cushion, yeah, you can get a springer sometimes. So could have got a lot straighter on this red. He's given himself a little bit to do.
21.
He took a risk there, and it was a risk because the ready's going to be playing down the cushion. He's not one who'd like to have played this early. He's 7 points behind, and this is a red that's a little bit tricky. If it goes in, you would expect him to win the frame from it. And that's why, you see. That wasn't the bad shot for me, John. It was the one before.
Yeah, and the way he banged his hand on the table here, the way he banged his hand, I bet that hurt. I bet that hurt. It's a big chance and he's missed it. Obviously not happy.
Yes, Michael Holt, yeah, I think it was a couple of seasons away. He played that and broke a knuckle. So sometimes you've got to be a little bit careful if you're a little bit petulant with yourself. Well, that, unless you can get through to the yellow, the green's tough because of the hampered queuing. Could be under break if you can't pot the yellow. Can't get a lot of pace in the cue ball taking the green. He's going to be faced with a long pot, which he hasn't really potted one yet. This one he can stroke in now. He doesn't have to play this at pace. He can stroke this in.
4.
Well, this will just add to Ali's frustration. Because that's the hard part about this game. You get your chance and then you miss. Frustration, and you got to sit there and suffer.
12.
Well, maybe Ali can see a little bit of hope here. Ronnie, well, he's got down quick, so he must have just about got the angle on black. The way he was looking at first, I thought he'd gone too straight. He was straight enough. This red could have been easier.
20.
Looking at the scoreboard, Ronnie, 27 points the lead, so 2 reds, 2 colours needed. He's made more difficult this shot because of the fact he's close to the cushion. No, it's not there. So Ali Carter is going to get another chance.
I was trying to work out why Ronnie was queuing down on it rather than just running it through. Obviously when you're trying to bounce it in a little bit, you can see how hard he's queuing down there. He probably must have played the half-ball cannon on the red and missed the red because he hit it thin. He didn't get the half-ball cannon. That was a bad shot.
I would suggest this is now a very big frame for Ali Carter. You don't normally get this many chances off Ronnie. I'm sure when he was at the table last time and missed, he thought it would cost him the frame. Chance to level at the mid-session interval.
You can see why Ronnie played to play that little cannon on his previous shot, because that right-hand red of the two doesn't pot. Ali's played a really good screw shot there, and he's got the perfect angle on the red, albeit he needs the extension.
Nine. 16.
Well, just slightly the wrong side of the blue. So he can't really get close to the yellow off the blue, which is why he's probably, there you see it, Hawkeye shows you. Just the potting angle is easy, obviously, to roll the blue in, but just taking him away from the yellow, so deciding on the green. He's got to screw this cue ball back a couple of feet. Can go wrong. Well, he could have done with screwing back maybe another couple of inches, but he's probably okay, but he's thinner on this yellow than he would have liked.
20.
7 points in arrears, so he needs up to and including the pink. Played it well.
22.
It's been a strange one. Ronnie appears to have dominated the first 4 frames. Ali Carter's highest break was 34 in pinching frame 2. He's
25.
obviously only going to make a 30 odd here in pinching probably frame 4. So Ronnie's done all the work. It could be 2 each.
$29.
Yes, I think particularly pleasing from Ali Carter's point of view is the fact that he hasn't, to me, really settled yet. He still looks a bit edgy.
34.
But he'll go into the mid-session interval feeling a lot better because it's just the pink required. In it goes. Doesn't bother about the black. Ali Carter, I'm sure, very relieved. He's level with Ronnie O'Sullivan at the mid-session interval. 2 apiece.
Thank you. Turn your flashes off now, please. Frame 5. Ali Carter to break.
Well, John and I mentioned during the first 4 frames of commentary we weren't sure whether Ali Carter had settled. I think he'll settle now because he'll be delighted to have got out of that first session at 2-all. Like he's decided to take this pot on, the one above the pink. As long as he can swing the cue ball round the other red, he'll be okay, which he has done. Needs a kiss on the green, but he hasn't got it. So there'll be no attempted pot from here.
Green ball. Ali Carter 1.
Well, he's missed out an opportunity there because he's not got the snooker. It wouldn't have been a difficult snooker to get out of, but he's left Ronnie now with his hand on the table. Chance to play a good safety. I don't think the red at the edge of the cluster cuts into the left corner. May do. No, it didn't. It was a pretty good safety that from Ronnie. And it just shows you that was a slip there from Ali Carter. Didn't get the snooker, and now he's the one in trouble.
That little shadow there tells us what balls he can and can't see, so we know by that he can see the one to the extreme left of the bunch, but he's not playing it.
Touching both. Yeah, sure. Under rest.
Well, this is obviously made easier the fact that it's touching ball, so Ronnie, as long as he comes inside the red that's near the blue, he should be able to get tight on the cushion behind the yellow. It's key when you play this shot, you make sure you get past the baulk line, and when you're queuing down on it, it's not always easy to get the centre of the white. You can bounce this, so as you can see, it's a little bit more awkward than he first thought.
Yeah, but he wants to get it back to the baulk end, doesn't he? I mean, it's quite easy just to run off and leave it near this top cushion he's looking now, but I don't see what advantage you gain from that. It'd just be a straightforward run to the baulk end for Ali. But sometimes it's just the way the balls lay that forces your hand, so to speak. Where's the red going?
One.
That was a pretty good safety, but of course that red, if it doesn't drop in, would have stayed over the pocket for Ali.
Ronnie O'Sullivan, one.
And I don't know whether it's because this table's running very quick or this cue or something, because Ronnie was looking at his cue there, but he played to just nestle up to the brown and he's overhit it.
He just had a little chuckle to us in the commentary box there to say that he was a little bit anxious on the shot, I think. Sometimes when you wipe the cue with a damp cloth, if it's not wet, it can stick in your hand, John, can't it, the cue, if it's still damp?
Yeah, and that little roll-ups, we see it played so many times and they make it look so easy, but I'm certain most of you who played snooker, you know, you're rolling from a couple of feet just to nestle up to a ball. It's not as easy as it looks, or they make it look.
I've got to admit, towards the end of my playing career, I couldn't play that shot. I used to have the yips on it, you know, I just couldn't let go. It's something that creeps into you when you get on a bit. Obviously, I'm still very young, really. I wish. Oh, that's a better safety shot. Negotiated the path in between pink and blue very nicely there.
Another quite an aggressive safety shot. Wow, he's done well to slip past the brown. It's a good shot now. But it looked for all the world as though he was going to catch the brown or the yellow. Found the gap. Okay, Ronnie can get through to this red, but there's not a lot he can do with it. Tight under the baulk cushion as he is. Well, close enough to the baulk cushion. Can't impart any backspin. suppose the only thing he can be thinking, if he pots the red, he could run through and nudge the black towards the pocket. Tough shot. Well, he didn't. He's trying to play the safety. Well, it was a pretty good effort.
I don't think I've ever seen Ronnie refuse so many long pots. Carter's had a look at the potting angle and he's blessed with so much cue power here, and he knows if he gets the white over towards the jaws of the right hand middle pocket or down that side, this is the only red he can leave on if he takes it. Well, he went all out for it, so obviously nothing at all pots, but after a couple of little kisses, I think he's been fortunate not to left anything easy. There is one that's cuttable. He can go back into balk on.
I'm sure, as you said, Willie, he was thinking the only red he could leave was the one he was playing, but once he'd missed it and he'd run into other reds, he could quite easily have left a pot on. Get a good length for the cue ball. Will Ali be forced into playing a pot again? The only thing that might just dissuade him from that is he's got an easy safety. An easy return back to balk. But no, he's taking the pot on. And gets it this time. Oh, that cue ball needs to stop. Well, he couldn't have finished up in a worse position. It's amazing, isn't it? It's one of those, isn't it? You get down, you think, if I knock this red in, I'm bound to be on the black.
I think the saving grace is if he does play the cut, he'll be cannon into the red that's near the cushion. That'll slow the cue ball down because he's going to have to hit this quite hard. So he'll have precious little idea where the cue ball is going to end up.
Yes, he's just about managed to cut, and he's on a red.
8.
So it looks like Ali's come out with an attitude after the mid-session interval. That's 2 long reds he's gone on for. And he's not thought about the consequences, just thought about what he could get if the red went in.
9.
And this is an excellent opportunity because the pink is in the open, and I think if and when he pots the pink, it'll go on the pink spot, and that'll bring it more into play.
Yes, he was certainly outplayed in the first frame and a half of this match, but I was just about to say he's had a chance now winning the frame, but I'm not sure whether a red pots after that kiss.
14.
I think the 2 in the middle are covered, and because he's hit that half ball, I think that may be end of break. Wow, what a mistake. You can see how disillusioned he is with that shot, only a safety coming up. That was very poor.
Yes, and when we look from behind the pocket, if it had just run past the red he cannoned, as he taps his cue, he'd have been on a straight red just to roll it in for the black. So it was a good chance. It's gone now, though.
Ali Carter, 14.
be a little careful here. He doesn't push the red over the corner. Depends on how thin he plays this red. Yeah, played it exceptionally thin to make sure. Needs the white to pull up, and it hasn't done, so that's a poor shot. Ali's took a few long ones on, John. Is this going to be another?
Well, I'm certain he'll take it on, but I'm not certain what colour he can play for. He can't play to get on the pink. I'm not certain the black will go to, well, I'm almost certain he won't go to the left corner, so that's why he's refusing it. If he could have got on a colour, he'd have certainly played the pot. But that's not the best shot. Neither player at the moment is playing the best of safeties. Can't find the baulk cushion, they're struggling to find the baulk line.
One of those occasions, though, that even though he hasn't found the baulk line, it doesn't appear there's anything straightforward to get back into baulk. Got to avoid the kiss on the pink, and then he hasn't got much room for the cushion, has he? That's why he's just played the containing safety. So it wasn't so bad from Ali.
As it turns out, and that red just drifting up past the right centre pocket has made a clip off this red he's closest to the baulk end very dangerous. We could see a little bit of tip-tap in here for a while. Well, Ronnie just had a slight look at Ali there, and I don't know, possible re-rack. No one can go to the baulk end because of that red near the right middle pocket, so I don't see an end to this. They're looking at one another.
Re-rack.
Yes, re-rack. So it just got to a stage where neither player was going to risk going to the baulk end, so frame 5 will have to start again. Looks a little bit more settled though, Ali, hasn't he, since the mid-session interval?
Couldn't agree with you more, John. He's gone for 3 opening reds. That Ronnie's refused reds like that all the way through the match, and maybe if he's had a chat with Terry and probably feels that he wasn't being quite aggressive enough, and probably Terry noticed that Ronnie was refusing long pots. May have said to him that be a little bit more open.
Yeah, play your own game, play your natural game.
Frame 5. Ali Carter to break.
Frame 5, take 2. After the re-rack, after some 7 or 8 minutes, they've broke off again for the second time in this 5th frame. I think, is that the first re-rack we've had this tournament, John? I can't remember another one. I didn't know either, so I'll forgive you. Well, the red to the right hand side, the one nearest the middle, is in the same position that the red was in the last game. That's why Ali's taking a little bit of time on this. He could play to pot this and come for the black, but the only reason I said that, because round this side he would have not been leaving anything on. It was cuttable, that red. Refused it though. Well, I'm amazed Ronnie doesn't seem to want to play a pot.
Well, that was a very poor shot, that, from Ali. He's lucky.
Thank you.
Once he'd played it so badly and rattled in the jaws, he didn't run along the top cushion and knock the red on. But he didn't leave anything. So back to the safety exchange. Not really what we expected in this match. But no frame of snooker is ever the same. Or match.
Yes, I must admit, even if it went 6-5, I thought we'd be out of here by 10 o'clock. I expected it to be pretty open. So far, Ronnie's the one who seems to be trying to dictate the safety exchanges. Once again, player has not found the baulk line, or the baulk cushion. Is he going to be tempted this time with the long one? Yeah, it's dead straight. That's but you know, Ronnie with a cue he likes would have been playing to pot that and screw back into baulk. I'm concerned, and with safety like that, so is Ronnie. There's one thing for sure: if it's straight, Ali Carter will take it on. But if it's not straight, he might not be able to get back into baulk.
Good clean pot, and the cue ball has just about held up, so he'll take the green on. He'd have preferred it, of course, to stop 3 or 4 inches just before it did, and then he could have played for the red that's just above the black, but I don't think he can get on that red off the green. We'll see. Oh, he's missed the green. And been very, very lucky. They can all shout, "Come on, Ronnie," but there's nothing to come on with. He's lucky as Ali missed the green, but he's not on the red he intended. Saved by the blue.
That's enough.
Too sure whether the back one of the 3 behind the pink will cut into the corner, but if he does decide to play that, he's going to have to stun it in to avoid the cannon on the red to the right of the black. The easy safety shot is the one to the right of the black, because A, it will bring the black safe, and also good chance of getting him behind the green. took it a lot wider than I expected, and a red sprung up to the top end of the table, but not over the middle, so it's okay. Well, is Ronnie going to be forced into playing a long pot? His long pot success rate is at 90%, and that's purely because he hasn't played one. You know, he's refusing everything, but I don't know how he can refuse this one.
He's always got to trust to look in position, but he always knew, as I say, that he'd be very unlucky not to be on the green, which is adjacent to the corner pocket. I'm not quite certain. Yeah, I mean, even if he doesn't kiss the yellow, he wasn't really going to be on this red to the right centre. It will go to the right corner, I think.
Well, Ronnie's had a look at the possible cut. He's trying to cut this in. We know it pots off one jaw, but it looks like it's the cut. Needs the white to slow up. And it is slowing up. Well, I thought it was going to slow up before the baulk line. It hasn't. So, end of break, I think. I can't get on a red from that.
Well, I think there's a little bit of frustration there.
Sullivan,
As you say, it was well nigh impossible to get on a red from that, but I think at the moment the balls are winning. They're running slightly awkward, and neither player seems to be able to manufacture anything. And certainly an air of frustration, that shot from Ronnie then. That was an adventurous red to play on. I think both players at the moment are not happy with the way this match is panning out, and they're trying to make things happen. Certainly not the match we thought it was going to be so far. Yeah, that's going to ask a question of Ronnie to get this safe. It's not a straightforward safety shot. Looking to come off one cushion into the reds, just to the left of the pink as we look. Ooh, is that the pink? Is that the pink?
Foul and a miss. Settle down. One more word and you're gone. Ali Carter 6.
So Miss Cole having it replaced. Ronnie having a laugh with Michaela. Can you imagine if Michaela said to you, go and wash them pots? Hey, you'd do it, wouldn't you?
That's the first time I've ever heard a big cross. You're right. Very domineering, wasn't she there?
Oh, is he going to slide by these? No. Made the adjustment well then.
Well, he's still having a little laugh at us in the commentary box there at Michaela's little outburst. Well, it's gone a little bit scrappy, isn't it? It's one thing for certain, it will improve.
Well, he's asking for the extended rest, so he feels as though he can get to the potting angle of this red to the left corner. There you see it. He'll be playing with lots of bottom on the cue ball, trying to spring the white back up for blue or possibly the pink. Oh, well, he never really got into it. He never generated the pace that was required there. He's got the one, but that's all.
Yes, he was expecting that cue ball to spring through all those reds and certainly the pink. But he's got the upper hand on the safety exchange. If he plays it thin, he should cover everything up behind the yellow, tight on the baulk cushion. It's key to cover that red up that's just above the yellow.
Alec Harter, 1.
So certainly favoured at this moment.
Yeah, and the frame has opened up a little bit now. The black's near the corner pocket and the pink's in the open. Blue's on its spot, or near enough, so you got to be careful. A mistake here could cost you the frame. Was he going to run round the back of them? Oh, just caught them. But an anxious look from Ronnie, because I think he's left a pot to the far right corner, and if not to the far right corner, certainly one to the right middle. I said the one to the far right corner. I think it will pass the brown, but he's looking at the one to the right middle. One good pot here. Gives you a real good chance.
Yes, good pot. Unfortunately for him, the white's finished on the cushion and nothing pots by the black in the corner, so if he's going to play this pink, he's going to have to play that pace on and off the cushion. And if he does that, the pink's going to be tough. The two reds at extreme left-hand side of the table, they're the two he'd like to get on, but he's going to have to come on and off the cushion to get on those. Deserves to be on a red the way he played that. That's very unlucky if he's not on one. He's okay. Good shot, that.
7.
Well, he says all right, well, he's given him a bit of thought. It only looks to be the two reds there, the one on the right as we looked. I thought he could get through. Well, maybe he can't. That's why he's playing this delicate little shot to the left middle. Well played.
Yes, great shot. Made it a little easier knowing that he couldn't leave anything on, so he could play it a little bit more confidently than you would do normally. And if the black is not straight, he should be able to get onto a red here without any problem. He's looking at a two-ball plant. If that's on, that will help.
Yeah, funnily enough, when we look from behind the corner pocket, yeah, it looks almost a certainty. And it's probably an advantage, because if he's straight on this black, he can't do a lot with the cue ball. Well, he's just maybe got a slight angle. He can just bring the cue ball out. Oh, well, I'm wondering, can he get through to the plant?
15.
He's nearly snookered himself by the green there, but he's getting down pretty quick, so I assume he's on it.
Alec Harter,
a bad shot, but the black was the poor shot. The plant was unmissable if you were directly behind it. The fact that he's had to play the red half ball has caused the problem. Ronnie's demeanour looks great. He really looks like he's really up for the game, but just nothing's happening for him at the minute. Good starter though, and where the balls are, you would expect him to score quite heavily. This is when he looks fine. He looks fine when he's up around this end of the table. Everywhere else at the moment looks a little bit shaky.
Four. 5. 12. 13. 20. 21.
Playing for the pink here, so in potting the pink he can just nudge into the 3 reds, bring them into play. Never misses an opportunity, Ronnie, to
27.
bring balls into play and give him a frame winning opportunity. Oh, no.
28.
Didn't quite find the heart of the pocket then. Just about, if it had just touched the pink, he may not have been on it. It's in a 17-point lead. You fancy him to win the frame at this visit now.
36.
Can't really see an obstacle he's got to overcome.
Two frames that Ronnie's won. He's made breaks of 66 and 90. Looks like he's going to go on to win this one with
43.
another 50 plus break. So Ronnie appears to be doing all the scoring, but I'm still not convinced he's playing well.
44.
So Ali has had plenty of chances in this frame. He would be disappointed.
So just a red and a colour needed.
50.
First time I think tonight we've seen him play a shot left-handed.
51.
33 points the lead. Pot the pink to 39 points in front with only 35 remaining.
$57. 58.
So 2 shots left-handed played in this break, and that's undoubtedly frame over. Just remains to see whether he can clear. Can't eclipse the highest break he made in the frame 3, which was 90. Possible 89 available, but the key thing is I think Ronnie just needs to get his cure more going, which he is doing.
67.
Be interested to see after this break whether he attempts any long pots in the next frame. He's refused virtually every one so far.
71. 76.
82. exhibition shot on the black, but I'm sure it's a relief. Ronnie O'Sullivan, who makes another high break, this time 82, and he goes into a 3-2 lead. Why can't I put my finger on it, John, why I don't think, even though Ronnie's made breaks of 6-6, 90 and 82, why am I thinking that he's not playing well?
Well, I think you've probably got it in your head, as I have, that when you change your cue or you come into a tournament with a new cue, you know, you think, well, it can't be as good as the last one. Surely he's not had time to get used to it. So, and I think it has shown up. I think there's been 1 or 2 safety shots he's played with the tracer side that he's caught much too thin. He doesn't look absolutely the all-round performer we expect. The only thing that I think when he's got in around the pink and black, he's looked as though he can score enough points to win the frame. But the other part of his game looks a little bit shaky. Can't say the long potting because he's hardly going for one.
Yeah, I've not been impressed with his safety either, John. I don't think he's competed any better than Ali. I mean, Ali's a seasoned campaigner now and can compete with most players, but Ronnie, you would have to suggest, should be better in the safety department, but Ronnie, as well as Ali, has not found the baulk cushion very often.
Yeah, but Ali missed a golden opportunity that frame, didn't he? And he's got to take his chances.
Thank you. Frame 6. Ronnie O'Sullivan to break.
So Ronnie O'Sullivan gets frame 6 underway, and we're still waiting for this match to catch fire. I mean, in fairness, Ronnie could have won all 5 frames that they played this evening, and then we might have been eulogising about how well he's playing with his new cue, but the fact is he's just throwing the odd error. Well, that's a terrific opening red from Ali, and he's got an angle to go into them. There is one loose red at the bottom of the cluster, but what a super red that is. And he's not frightened to take in the long ones. What he needs to do is start scoring when he gets in. He's not been making the most of the opportunities.
Ali Carter 1.
Well, he may still go on to win this match, but he might not get a better chance to beat O'Sullivan this season than the way things have gone this evening. And if you start missing those, you haven't got any chance of winning.
Well, I commentated on Ali's match against Peter Ebden when he won 6-0, and you can't believe at the moment it's the same player. Nope. I suppose in a way, having missed the black and smashed into the reds, Ali was lucky not to leave something easier than that. So he's had a let-off there.
Yes, albeit the cue ball once again is on the baulk line rather than on the baulk cushion. It's nothing easy to get back into baulk here. The black and red in the way down the right hand side. The red on the left hand side is covering any thin shots to get back into baulk down that side. So this is not straightforward.
Well, that was a superb shot. That really was. Had to be so precise. The cue didn't let him down there. Dear me. And he had to play it with side. Could not have played it better. And it could be that good a safety that it forces an error from Ali Carter. Well, he decided to play the containing safety, and he's not made a bad job of that, really. This red along the top cushion will not tempt Ronnie, of course. If the black could have been on its spot, maybe he might have been tempted. He may be tempted to play this red to the far left corner. What you do in these situations, you have a look, and obviously this red that's closest to the cue ball, he can't leave it there. He either plays the pot on that red, or he plays safe off it. He won't want to risk leaving that red there and the possibility of a path through to it for his opponent.
Yeah, Ronnie's such an intense young man that he may think it's a bit of a challenge playing and trying to win this illustrious tournament with a cue that he's not playing 100% with, because he's giving every safety shot 150%, whereas some of the pots he's playing a little quicker. Would have been just as good without the kiss on the pink, but the kiss on the pink has been to his benefit. Getting back into baulk is obviously a big problem here, and he can't pot his way out of trouble. So he's just trying to rest on the red that's on the back cushion, and this is fine as long as you don't catch it half ball. But where the black and pink are, even if he leaves this red on, he'll do well to get on the colour, Ronnie. Played it nicely.
The big problem here, if he tries to play safe the obvious way down the right hand side of the table as we look, he's got to avoid a kiss on the black. He's just caught the bump of the middle pocket, but he's not been too unkind to him.
Foul.
Well, that's unusual for Ronnie.
Ali Carter, 4.
Had misjudgment there. Don't think he's left a pot on, but You can put your hand in the D there. I'm not quite certain what he was trying to do. Another close look at the tip of the cue.
Yes, I suppose it was a little fortunate to have knocked the black to cover the pocket, because this red that's nearest the black would obviously be a straightforward pot. It's now not straightforward to get back to baulk.
Well, Ali, that was a loose one. He's not left any easy pot to go at, but there's certainly this one to the left corner, and you feel if he pots the red, he's bound to be on the black. But it's into what we call a blind pocket. You can see the cue ball and the object ball, but he hasn't got the pocket in his view. But it's in. Now is he on the black? He is.
Yes, took the ball by the horns there, didn't he? He knew that he was cannon into reds and knew that it was costly if he missed it, but at the pace he played it, he gave the pocket every chance to take the pot. Not too sure whether the red is covering the black spot, but it all depends whether... Here's the red as we see it go in at dead weight, right in the heart of the pocket again. Black spot is obviously covered. Now he's going to hope that when it goes on the pink spot, which it does, whether it's available anywhere. It looks like it's available in the left-hand corner. Certainly not into the right-hand corner, so this is a great chance. And once again, Ali Carter has had a couple of half chances in this frame, and it's been the bad safety that's let him down. Not missed pots.
Team. Well,
he decided to play for the black in the same pocket. I'm not quite certain whether he's inch perfect here. A little bit straighter on the black would have been better. He's got a little bit to do here with the cue ball to hold for the next red. Well, he managed it quite comfortably.
22.
Probably have to play for the black in the middle pocket here. He can just stun up for the black.
23.
Even that's gone a bit too far. He needed to be straighter on this black.
Yeah, he didn't hit the red in the middle of the pocket, did he? He just hit it in the side of the pocket, which is why he's not straight. But no problem.
$30. $31.
Well, it's been little workmanlike this
38.
break so far, because the reds and black are in open play, and you'd have thought he'd have a little bit better, closer control than he has thus far.
39.
Now there shouldn't be a problem, because this gives him a lot more room to work round on both sides of the black
44.
when he gets rid of this red.
45.
So once again, the host Sullivan looks like making a break of 50 plus, but off an Ali Carter mistake. So at the moment, Ali Carter's giving Ronnie chances rather than Ronnie creating chances.
And he must be very disappointed, Ali. This was a big match, a big night.
53.
And the way he's been playing, well, the way he played in last round was superb, and the way he's been playing this season, you know, you're saying when, not if, will he win a major tournament. And he'll be very disappointed with his level of performance so far in this match.
60.
He's just not doing it at the moment.
61. $66. 67.
The applause, this knowledgeable Wembley crowd telling you that that was frame ball, and the black going in just underlines the fact that Ali Carter won't be getting back to the table now.
75. 82. 83.
That's his third break over 80 in this match. It appears it's an O'Sullivan at half speed at the moment. Certain chance of a century now.
86. 93. 94.
This the 5-3-5. Not at his best in the break building department, but the frame score says he is. He's needed 2 or 3 chances each frame before he gets in with a clincher.
103.
But this break has been played very nicely.
Yes, and it's what this packed crowd come to see.
106.
And he has taken these well. There was a few times where you just didn't have complete control of the cue ball, but he's finished them off lovely.
115.
Now doing it left-handed to finish.
121.
New cue, left-handed. It's not a problem. So that was a bit more like it from Ronnie O'Sullivan. Just looking at Ali Carter, he'll be disappointed with his performance so far. But the Rockets, with a break of 128, goes 2 clear at 4-2.
Both players have left the auditorium. We'll pick up commentary when they return.
Thank you. Frame 7. Ali Carter to break. Flashes off, please.
I'm sure it's a very bemused Ali Carter getting frame 7 underway, just wondering how he played the most unbelievable snooker against Peter Ebdon, hardly missing a ball, can come out and play at completely the opposite kind of standard as he did the previous evening. Highest break 40, and he's had chances every frame.
Not the best safety shot from Ronnie, catching the yellow, and there's a red here to the right corner, the one just above the pink, and if he stuns it in, he can play for the black in the same pocket. Quite a distance away.
Where the whites finished as well, he kind of really cued across it for a start, didn't get into the white, didn't get on the black. It's a shot that normally Ali pots kind of 8 out of 10 at least, 9 out of 10, those kind of shots. Wasn't close. He thinks so quickly, Ronnie, doesn't he? He's put that red up that end so to stop Ali Carter playing the long pot. Essential, as we've said many times, when you're playing this kind of safety exchange, make sure you find the cushion so the player can't screw back on and off the pack to leave you tight on. So just resting off the side cushion, resting on the red in baulk. That's halfway.
Foul and a miss. Ali Carter 4.
Bad misjudgment. Has he left anything on?
Well, I think it's a case of, will Ali be tempted? I mean, if he has it replaced, I don't see what benefit. He's got this red that he can play to the left middle and he'd come down, natural angle to come down for the black. He's got to start knocking these in, I'm afraid. And it's just not happening. It's just not happening tonight for whatever reason. Shame.
One. Eight. Nine.
He's had choice of reds at the opening visit where he could have played for blue or black, and looks like now he hasn't got an angle to get on the black, so maybe play the red for blue or baulk colour.
$17.
Played for the blue, miss-hit it, but depending on what angle he has on the green to whether he can get onto the red in baulk. If it's straight, he's got a little bit of work to do, but it's not quite straight. He's able to force the angle. Once again, this is not straightforward. The natural angle to come on and off the back cushion for the black, the red's
20.
in the way, so he's going to have to drag this in a little bit just to miss the kiss on the red.
21.
Able to play it slow enough.
$28. $29.
He's had a little glance at the bunch with the red over the middle. He's got a bit of mileage in him if he wants to play into them, he can. Played a controlled one, but I would obviously now wish he'd have played it a bit harder. This is missable.
34.
So there's only really the green available because the pink and brown are covering each other. He played that like it was over the pocket. Great shot. Very, very good. when you're queuing down like that, it's essential you hit centre ball. That's exactly what he did there, because anything other than centre ball, you can swerve it. That was as good a shot as he played in the match.
$40. 41.
Well, he's got a nice angle on the blue. I don't think he has to disturb anything else. I think there's enough reds in the open for him to pick off. I want to be straighter on this red. I don't know that he can now play for the black. Well, if he's going back up for the blue, there's a red in the balk end, so even if he got
47.
the wrong side of the blue, it wouldn't matter. Just picking up the pace as well now.
$54.
50 points the lead. 3 of these remaining reds would see him
55.
in the snooker's required stage.
$62. 63.
O'Malley sat in his chair, not this frame particularly, but well, this frame as well. He must have read into the middle. He's just missed chances. He's had chances, missed them. This red for the frame. No problem.
71.
No problem. He's in big trouble now. Is Ali Carter.
And obviously a chance for back-to-back centuries, and a few moments ago we were suggesting that Ronnie didn't appear to be in his normal break-building form, but
79.
some 20 minutes later could be 2 centuries on the trot.
$86. 87. 94.
He came into the evening session on century 553. He's already made 1 this evening, so this for all the 5s. 555th competitive century.
102. 103. 106.
140 still the highest by John Higgins.
108.
It's going to be a tough target to beat, but the way people are playing in this tournament, Maguire especially, I can see 140 not being enough.
111.
Not seen the best of O'Sullivan yet. We've not seen the best of Mark Selby in the break building department. We know he's very, very capable of making big breaks.
115.
One of my positional shots, that one. That's the reason he's missed the blues, so back-to-back centuries. Ali Carter can only look on and think what could have been, and it could have been this evening, but he trails by 5 frames to 2. I think he looks bemused, John, doesn't he? I bet he can't understand now he can play so brilliant one night and have as many chances as probably he's had in all the other matches he's played this season, and just not doing it.
Yeah, I suppose that's sport, really. I mean, you mentioned Stephen Maguire. He played so well today, and yet he could have gone out in his first match against Graham Dott, where he was very disappointed. But no, from Ali's point of view, a 6-0 win against Peter Ebdon, who's always a tough competitor. The way he played, I'm certain he was looking forward to coming out here tonight and laying to rest this record he has against Ronnie of playing him 10 times and never winning once. And you said earlier on in the match that this was as good a chance of any as any, and he's just not produced. He's just not produced.
It's tough to take positives out of it, John, isn't it? As well, it's hard.
Thank you. Frame 8. Ronnie O'Sullivan to break. Settle down now, please.
Ronnie gets frame 8 on the way, and hoping that this is the frame that takes him into the semi-final. Terrific long pot. He's knocked in a few good long pots this evening, but unfortunately he's not made the most of his opportunities. He's back against the wall. I think he's going to attack.
That's amazing. I think that's the third black off the spot he's missed. And the angle was absolutely perfect. Just plain ball, didn't have to do anything with it. The red at the back of the bunch would pot. It's just hard to put your finger on it, isn't it? I think he must have been so excited coming into this match, thinking, well, look, I've lost every match I've played against O'Sullivan, but I'm playing as good as I've played in my career. And maybe that's just been something that's stopped him playing well. Maybe he just expected to play so well, and because he hasn't, it's been a shock to the system.
1.
But I'll tell you what, it's the loneliest seat in the world where Ali is at the moment.
Six.
As you say, Willie, no positives to look on this evening. Just has to sit there and suffer.
Seven.
Even though there's loose reds, he may decide to go into them here because he needs a few more loose reds in play. That's open up, isn't it? Is he the best in the world at that shot? He's not far away. Once he gets the black or the pink on the spot, you would say it's frame match winning opportunity. Until he does
13.
that, there's a little bit of work to do. It looks beautiful, but you're not going to win the frame off just the blue. Very tough.
$18. 19. 24. 25.
See how difficult it is, can't you? Trying to win a frame with just the blue.
30.
He's having to work really hard. These reds are beautiful. Can you imagine the black or pink on the spot? Would be a practice situation. It's not without them on the spot. He's reluctant
51.
to try and get on the black because it's missable.
Yeah, and this time he's not got a good angle on the blue. There you see it. Looks too straight. He's got reds available. I mean, he's got 2 reds near this right corner pocket. He'll play for the one that he can pot half ball and run the cue ball, and maybe this time will he make an effort to try and get on the pink.
Couldn't agree with you more. I think overhit this rather than underhit it. You've got the baulk colours there just in case.
37.
That's what he's played. It must be dead straight. Well, now that the pink's in play, we can talk about possible frame and match. But that's not the best positional shot he's played this evening. He concentrated so hard on getting the good angle, he's overhit that by some 18 inches. So this is Ali's last hope, I think, because if he pots the green and gets on a red, it's end of. But this is missable. But the pace he's going to have to play it. It's not guaranteed to get onto a red, even if he pots it. On it. Still not nice. Still not nice.
47.
46 points to lead, so he's looking for 3 more reds. Not perfect this by any means. He's refused the black or getting on the black a few times, so it's the pink to the far right corner. If it goes in, it's a match winner. In it goes. So you'd be surprised now if Ronnie doesn't make the most of this opportunity and really rub salt in the wounds of Ali Carter.
55.
The breaks say it's been vintage, Ronnie, but on a lot of the frames that he's won, he's needed more than 1 chance. The last 2 or 3 frames he only needed 1 chance. So he's made a 50 or above, 60 or above in every frame he's won.
Yes, and not beyond the realms of possibility. He could have 3 consecutive centuries here. There'll be other nights, Ali. There'll be other nights, but you just got to put this behind you, son, and say, well, it was just
69.
A bad day at the office.
70.
There was 5 consecutive centuries in the previous match, the afternoon match. This could be 3 on the trot, and 76. Considering he's not been at his best, what does that tell you?
77.
There he is, and as I say, lonely, lonely seat that, when your opponents at the table potting the ball, getting all the accolades, all the cheers. Go in. Go in. Well, he tried an exhibition shot rather than just concentrate being on the yellow, so it might not be 3 consecutive centuries. No, it's a pity. Ali Carter shakes Ronnie's hand. I don't think he can wait to get out of the arena quick enough. But Ronnie O'Sullivan gave the crowd what they came to see, a victory. Ronnie O'Sullivan goes through to the semi-final. He beats Ali Carter 6 frames to 2.